You're the very best friend I've ever had, and you're good fun. Hi there, this is Cricket talking to you. Have you ever been on a holiday? That's where you travel somewhere new and have all kinds of fun doing all kinds of different things you wouldn't normally do at home. On our last holiday, my whole family flew on a jet. Even my little brother. We went to a big city to visit my Aunt Jane. She lives high up in a tall block of flats. When I looked out of her living room window, I could see lots of tall buildings and bridges and tons of little boats on the river. I could see lots of cars and buses too, and trucks, and even some trains. And I could see about a zillion people walking around on the pavements. Only imagine this, they were so far down, they all looked like little teeny ants. The city is so big, I said to Aunt Jane. I'm sure it's easy to get lost. You're right, Cricket, said Aunt Jane. It can be very confusing sometimes. And then she sang a song to me about someone visiting the city for the first time. This is how it goes. I went to the city to buy a coat in a big department store, but I got lost in underwear on the 22nd floor. Oh, the lift, it goes up and down, revolving doors go round and round, cabs in the street go beep, 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 whenever we go to town. The street's so wide I called a cab just to get across, but I never got to the other side 'cause the driver, he got lost. Oh, the lift, it goes up and down, revolving doors go round and round, the cabs in the street go beep, 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 whenever we go to town. I decided to take a stroll just around the park. Started out this morning and I didn't get back till dark. Oh, the lift, it goes up and down, revolving doors go round and round, cabs in the street go beep, 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 whenever we go to town. Remember I was talking about my Aunt Jane? Well, as soon as we arrived at her house, apartment, we met a man in a fancy uniform who helped us with our bags. This is Mr. Johnson, said Aunt Jane. He's our caretaker. If you ever need help, just ask Mr. Johnson. Then we all rode in a really fast lift up to the 23rd floor and did my tummy somersault. After lunch, my Aunt Jane said, Cricket, why don't you go down to the lobby and get our post from Mr. Johnson? OK, I said. Phew, that lift went even faster this time, and my tummy did somersaults again. The postman hadn't arrived yet, so Mr. Johnson and I waited for him outside. Then suddenly a car screeched and there was a lot of honking. I looked up, and what do you think I saw? There was the sweetest little poodle, and he was right in the middle of the road. Oh, Mr. Johnson, save him, I said. So Mr. Johnson rushed into the road, picked up the little poodle, and brought him back safe and sound. That was a close call, young fella, said Mr. Johnson. Woof, woof, said the little poodle. Then I asked Mr. Johnson if I could hold him. And guess what? I think that little poodle really liked me because he started licking me all over. So I said to Mr. Johnson, can I take him upstairs? I'm afraid not, Cricket, said Mr. Johnson. We're not allowed to have dogs in the building. He has to go home. But, I said, how will we find his owner? He doesn't even have a name tag. That's a problem, said Mr. Johnson. What shall we do? I know, I said. Maybe there's someone who knows where he lives. How about the postman, said Mr. Johnson. Here he comes now. Excuse me, sir, I said to the postman. Do you recognize this little poodle? Yes, said the postman. I think I do. That looks like Maxie. He lives right round the corner at Mrs. Silverman's house. Then all of a sudden, Maxie started barking and wriggling and barking. Woof, 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 said Maxie. Woof, 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 woof. And then a lady came round the corner with a lead in her hand. It was Mrs. Silverman. Maxie, she called. Here, Maxie. And Maxie wriggled so hard, he jumped right out of my arms and ran straight to Mrs. Silverman. Oh, thank you, Mr. Johnson, for finding Maxie, said Mrs. Silverman. I've been so worried about him. Don't thank me, said Mr. Johnson. It was Cricket here who spotted him. So Mrs. Silverman thanked me and said she wanted to give me a reward, but I asked her to get Maxie a name tag instead. I'll do that right away, said Mrs. Silverman, and she took Maxie home, and that little poodle barked, woof, 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 all the way. You know, it isn't just little dogs who have trouble crossing the street in the city. It's kids too. So I always cross the street with a grown-up. And of course, I know all about traffic lights. Red means stop, and green means go, and yellow means slow down. If you like, you can help me play a rhyming game with red and green. Listen carefully, and when I say, because the light is, you say red or green. Let's try one and you'll see what I mean. A king stood on the corner, and next to him a queen. You may go, I said to them, because the light is... I hope he said green. Green means go. Let's try another one. A moose stood on the corner, the biggest I've ever seen. You may go, I said to him, because the light is... Green is the right answer. Green means go. Here's another one. A clown stood on the corner with a tulip on his head. You must stop, I said to him, because the light is... I hope you said red, because that's the right answer. Red means go. Here comes the last one. A bear stood on the corner. His name was Fearless Fred. You must stop, I said to him, because the light is... The answer is red. Red means stop. Remember that song Aunt Jane taught me about the city? Well, I'd like to teach it to you now. This is what you do. When I sing the lift goes up and down, you go up on your toes, and then bend your knees and go down. When I sing revolving doors go round and round, put your arms straight out to the side and turn round and round. When I sing the cabs in the street go beep, 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 you pretend you're honking a car horn. We'll do it really slowly the first time. Ready? Here goes. The lift, it goes up and down. Revolving doors go round and round. Cabs in the street go beep, beep, beep whenever we go to town. The lift, it goes up and down. Revolving doors go round and round. Cabs in the street go beep, beep, beep whenever we go to town. Gosh, wasn't that good? We'll sing this song again after our story. Storybook adventures, they're the greatest kind. There's no end to all the fun you'll find. You can have adventures and still be safe at home with a storybook adventure of your own. This is a story about a little girl who lived in a high-rise in the middle of a big city. It's also about a funny green frog who lived in a big pond in the middle of a big park in the middle of the same city. If you like, you can play a city game in your activity book while you listen. One day, the little girl, who was a little lonely because she'd just moved to the big city, went to the park to play with her favourite ball. She began to play catch by herself because she'd no one else to play with. She threw the ball up in the air and caught it. And she threw the ball in the air and caught it. And threw the ball in the air and forgot to catch it. The ball bounced and then rolled and then dropped right into the pond. "Oh no!" cried the little girl. "There goes my favourite ball! How am I ever going to get it back?" Then suddenly she saw a funny green frog at the edge of the pond. "Ribbit, ribbit, what hit me, ribbit?" said the frog. "I'm sorry, Froggy," said the little girl. "My favourite ball just fell into your pond." "Well then," said the frog, "I'll bring your ball back to you, ribbit, if you will only grant me one wish." The little girl was so surprised, she didn't even wonder why a frog was talking like a little boy. "Okay, Froggy," she said, "I'll give you whatever you wish. How about 2 pennies and a pencil and half a banana sandwich and an old comic I've read about 5 times? You see, those were the only things she could find in her pockets. I don't want your money, said the frog, and I don't want your pencil, and I don't want your sandwich, Ribbit, and I don't want your comic book. But I do want you to take me home and let me be your friend. I promise to take you home with me, said the little girl, if you bring back my ball. So the funny green frog dived down deep into the pond. He swam round and round and finally brought back the little girl's ball. The little girl was so happy to have her favourite ball again, she ran all the way home and forgot to take the little frog with her. Ribbit, Ribbit, cried the little frog, but the little girl was gone. Later that evening, the little girl was having dinner with her father high up in the tall block of flats in the middle of the big city. Suddenly, they heard a strange sound outside their door. Little girl, Ribbit, said a croaky little voice. Ribbit, little girl, you promised to take me home with you. Who's that at the door, my dear? The little girl's father asked. It's a funny green frog, father, she said. He rescued my favourite ball for me, and I promised to take him home, but then I forgot. Well, promises are important, the little girl's father said, so let the frog come in. The little girl opened the door and said, Come in, Froggy. I'm sorry I ran off without you. That's all right, Ribbit, said the frog, but I've had such a long climb up all those stairs, and I wondered if I could have a bite to eat, and then perhaps a nice little nap. Can Froggy stay? The little girl asked her father. Of course he can, her father said. The little girl was so happy to have a friend at last, she made a place for the frog in her very own room. First, she filled a big bowl full of water, and then she put the bowl on her window-sill, and then she put the frog in the bowl. Oh, Ribbit, this is lovely, said the funny green frog. I can see all the lights of the city. Yes, said the little girl, and if you look down below, you can see your pond too. Then she blew the frog a kiss and laughed and said, Good night, sweet prince. Next morning, the little girl jumped out of bed bright and early. She was so looking forward to playing with her new friend. But when she looked into the bowl, what do you think? The funny green frog was gone. But there was a note that said, Come down to the pond as soon as you can. So the little girl took her favourite ball and went down to the big pond in the middle of the big park in the middle of the big city. She began to play catch by herself because she had no one else to play with. She threw the ball up in the air and caught it, and threw the ball up in the air and caught it, and threw the ball up in the air and forgot to catch it. The ball bounced and rolled, and then, I've got it, said the little boy playing by the pond. Oh, thank you, said the little girl. Would you like to play catch with me? Ribbit, said the little boy, and so they did, and the little girl was so happy to have a friend again, she didn't even wonder how in the world a boy could talk like a little frog. Wasn't that a sweet story? And now, before we leave the city, let's sing our city song once more. Remember, up and down, then round and round, then honk the horn. Oh, the lift, it goes up and down, revolving doors go round and round, cabs in the street go beep, 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 whenever we go to town. I decided to take a stroll just around the park. I started out this morning and I didn't get back till dark. Oh, the lift, it goes up and down, revolving doors go round and round, cabs in the street go beep, 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 whenever we go to town. Oh, the lift, it goes up and down, revolving doors go round and round, the cabs in the street go beep, 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 whenever we go to town. If you like, you can turn my tape over now and we'll visit a farm. I'm so glad we visited the city together. I've had a wonderful time. Just remember, I'll be talking to you.
My grandma and grandpa live on a farm in the country. We took the train there from the city and it was good fun. We sat down in a carriage with windows all over, even the roof. The conductor said, "All aboard," and the train pulled out of the station.
We saw lots of people on the way, and when we crossed the road, all the cars had to stop at the level crossing. My brother and I stood at the window and waved to all the drivers. By the time we arrived at Grandma and Grandpa's house, it was really late and very dark. My little brother and I went straight to bed and fell fast asleep. Next morning, we woke up bright and early. I just love waking up on the farm.
Good morning, sun, that's what I always say. Good morning, world, it's a wonderful day. Wake up, flowers, get up, bees. Tell the birds to start singing, please. Good morning, sky, you never looked so blue. Good morning, friends, we've got a lot to do. I've got a feeling today's the day. Something grand is going to come our way. Wake up, butterfly, spread your wings. Get up, bluebells, it's time to ring. Good morning, sky, you never looked so blue. Good morning, friends, we've got a lot to do. I've got a feeling today's the day. Something grand is going to come our way.
As soon as we got up, my little brother and I put on our clothes and ran downstairs. "I want to be a farmer! I want to be a farmer!" my brother kept saying. "Well, young fella, you can't be a farmer," said my grandpa, "unless you have a farmer's hat." He took off his straw hat and put it on my brother's head. He certainly looked funny. "What does a farmer do?" my little brother asked. "He feeds the animals," my grandpa said. "So why don't the two of you go and feed the chickens and the piglet and the baby goat?" "Look at me, Cricket! I'm a farmer! I'm a farmer!" my brother kept saying. We both ate breakfast as fast as we could. After breakfast, Grandma gave us some feed, and we went outside to the chicken coop. "Cluck, cluck, 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 cluck," said the chickens as I threw a handful of feed. They pecked, and in about a second, all the feed was gone. My brother took a handful too, and he leaned right over the fence. But just then, along came a gust of wind. "Watch out!" I said to my brother. But the wind blew his hat right into the coop. The chickens thought it was something to eat, and they started pecking at it right away. "Oh, no!" said my brother, and he ran into the chicken coop to save Grandpa's hat. "Oh, no!" I said, as the chickens started flapping all over the place. Well, it took about an hour, but my brother finally got his hat out of the chicken coop. "That's a pretty dirty farmer's hat," I said, but my brother didn't care. "I want to be a farmer," he just said, and he put the hat back on his head. Next, we collected some table scraps and went to the piglet sty. "Oink, oink, oink," said the piglet, as we sat on the fence and threw in the scraps. Just then, another gust of wind came along. "Hold on to your hat," I said to my brother. But the wind blew his hat right into the sty. The piglet thought it was something to eat because he started snuffling at the hat right away. "Oh, no!" said my brother, and he jumped into the pigsty to save Grandpa's hat. "Oh, no!" I said, as he splattered mud over everything, including me. The piglet started chasing my brother, so I jumped in and I started chasing them both. Well, it took about an hour, but my brother finally got his hat out of the sty. "That's a pretty muddy farmer's hat," I said, but my brother didn't care. "I want to be a farmer," he said, and he put the hat back on his head. Next, we collected some carrot tops and went over to the goat's paddock. "Baa, baa," said the baby goat as we gave him the carrot tops through the fence. Just then, along came another gust of wind. "Keep your hat on your head this time," I said to my brother, and this time he held on good and tight. But then, guess what? The baby goat stuck his head through the fence and grabbed hold of the hat. He really thought it was something nice to eat. "Oh, no!" my brother and I said, and we grabbed onto the hat too. "Now pull really hard," I said, "or we'll never get Grandpa's hat back again." Well, it took about an hour, but we finally got that hat away from the goat. "That's a pretty disgusting farmer's hat," I said to my little brother, and this time he started crying and didn't put the hat back on his head. "I'm sorry, brother," I said. "Don't cry. You can still be a farmer." "I don't want to be a farmer. I don't want to be a farmer," he cried. Just then, Grandpa came along. "What's the matter, young fella?" he said. My brother told him about the chickens and the piglet and the goat, and then he showed Grandpa the hat. Grandpa just laughed and laughed. "Don't worry," he said. "I've got dozens of hats just like it. And you know what? When I was a young whippersnapper about your age, the same thing happened to me." That made my brother feel much better. And it made me laugh thinking about my grandpa being a whippersnapper. Well, wasn't that a funny story? Grandpa told us lots of stories about when he was a little boy on the farm. And he taught us a song he used to sing. It's called Bingo. It's about a farmer and his dog. You might already know it, but if you don't, I'll teach it to you. This is how it goes.
There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, sing that much with me now. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, good. Now we're going to spell the dog's name. Bingo is spelt B-I-N-G-O, and when you sing it, it sounds like this. B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Now let's sing the whole thing all together. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. That was super. Let's sing it again, but this time, instead of singing the letter B, clap your hands. Try it. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, clap your hands one more time. I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Super! Now this time clap your hands twice instead of singing the first two letters. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, clap 2 times. N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. This time clap your hands 3 times. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. You can sing that song with your friends and keep right on going. Clap 4 times and just sing the letter O. Then clap 5 times and don't sing any letters at all. Guess what? I found a tongue twister right here on the farm. My grandpa asked me to go and check the pigs in the big pig pen. That sure sounds like a tongue twister to me. So I asked my grandpa to say Big Pig Pen 3 times in a row as fast as he could. And guess what? He couldn't do it. He laughed really hard, and then I tried to do it. I said, Big Pig Pen, Big Pig Pig. I couldn't do it either. Why don't you try it? Say Big Pig Pen 3 times in a row as fast as you can. You can ask your friends to try it too. It's lots of fun. This song is about a farmer who likes to sleep late, but the farmyard animals want him to wake up and feed them. I'll sing, and you make the animal noises. Here goes. The farmer, he's a-sleeping, but the farmyard is awake. I'll get him up, said the cow, with all the noise I'll make. Moo, 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 get up for goodness sake. How can you keep on sleeping when we are all awake? I'll name another animal, and this time you help me make the sound. The farmer is a-sleeping, but the farmyard is awake. I'll get him up, said the hen, with all the noise I'll make. Cluck, 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 get up for goodness sake. How can you keep on sleeping when we are all awake? Now you think of an animal and make the sound. Here we go. The farmer is a-sleeping, but the farmyard is awake. I'll get him up, said the, with all the noise I'll make. Get up for goodness sake. How can you keep on sleeping when we are all awake?
This is a story about living in the country. You can find all kinds of nice country things to do in your activity book. If you like, you can do one of them while I'm talking to you. Here goes. Once upon a time, there was a little mouse who lived in the same city as my Aunt Jane. I got to know him when I went there on holiday. The city mouse, that was his name, by the way, had a little cousin who lived in the country, and his name was the country mouse. The city mouse just loved living in the big city, and he loved the crowded streets and the tall buildings and the bright lights at night. The city mouse always had lots of things to do and lots of places to go and lots of people to see. But one night, the city mouse came into my room and said, "Cricket, I'm exhausted. Rush, rush, rush is all I do. I need a break." "What you need is a holiday," I said to the city mouse. "Why don't you come to the country with us?" "Splendid idea," said the city mouse. "I can visit my country cousin. Nothing ever happens in the country." So I made a nice comfy place in a shoebox, and I took the city mouse with me when we went to visit Grandma and Grandpa. I kept the shoebox on my lap the whole way on the train. As soon as we got to the country, the city mouse hopped out and headed straight for his cousin's house. "See you later," said the city mouse. "Have a good rest," I told him. "I'll pick you up in 2 days." The country mouse lived in a snug little corner of Grandma and Grandpa's barn. He was proud to show his city cousin all around his house. First, he pointed out his clean straw bed, and then his cupboard full of food, and then they went outside to see his bath puddle beside the water trough. "Good gracious, cousin, how can you bear to live in such a place? No heat, no electricity, no running water. It's so old-fashioned. I shall have no trouble getting a good rest." Just then, a huge tractor rumbled by. It was so big and noisy, it scared the wits out of the city mouse, but the country mouse was used to the tractors. He just looked at his trembling cousin and said, "Did you say old-fashioned?" "Never mind," said the city mouse. Then the country mouse introduced his cousin to some of his friends on the farm. They visited an old dog who was taking a nap, and a hen who was laying an egg, and a duck who was floating on a pond. As soon as the city mouse had smiled his last smile, he said, "Good gracious, cousin, how can you bear to spend time with such people? They're so boring. I shall have no trouble getting a good rest." Just then, the cows came back from the pasture. They'd seen lots of things that day and told everyone about it. They were so big and so noisy, they scared the wits out of the city mouse. But the country mouse was used to cows. He just looked at his trembling cousin and said, "Did you say boring?" "Never mind," said the city mouse. Then the country mouse invited his cousin to sit down to dinner. He put out his best seeds, his juiciest berries, and his choicest morsels. As soon as the city mouse sat down at the table, he said, "Good gracious, cousin, how can you bear to eat all this rubbish? No cheese, no peanut butter, no chocolate cake. In the city, I dine every night only on the tastiest dishes." Just then, an owl happened to be flying by. He swooped down and tried to snatch the little mice. The country mouse was used to the owl, but it really scared the city mouse. He was so upset, he ran all the way to the house and hid under my bed. "What's the matter, city mouse?" I said when I woke up. "I want to go home, Cricket," said the city mouse. "Back to the quiet and restful city." So I opened my shoebox, and the city mouse hopped in and didn't come out till we got back to the city. "I'm so happy my holiday is over," the city mouse said to me. "There really is no place like home." I'm certainly having a good time spending my holiday with you. I'm so glad you're my friend.
You're the very best friend I've ever had, and you're good fun. You're especially nice to be around, and you're my friend. I'm so happy I've got a pal to tell my feelings to. What a playmate you've been, thanks for being my friend.
If you want to keep playing, you can turn my tape over now. Or you can talk, and I'll listen for a while. And remember, I'll be talking to you.